I'm going to tell you to keep the faith. Oh, you ever watch a stupid movie late at night hoping it's going to get better, don't get better, but you keep watching it anyway? Because the other night I was watching this movie. I was watching this movie called Freak Night, or some type of night, but it was about vampires. I don't know if you know vampires are some cool people, are they not? But I'm going to tell you something that I found out. A werewolf can kill a vampire. Did you know that? I never knew that, so I didn't want to be a vampire anymore. I wanted to be a werewolf. But then anyway, as I'm watching this movie, and then you can tell how stupid it is because it's 1 in the morning. So I'm watching my TV, these kids watching their TV, a vampire kill on their TV. So you know it's kind of stupid, but I'm still watching though. As I'm watching this show, what was funny, these kids had a vampire in their attic at their house. So they were watching their TV. Now I'm watching my TV as they're watching their TV, or they see the vampire killer on their TV. So they win this contest to bring this actor. Now, y'all got to stay with me. Bring this actor who's a vampire killer from that TV to get rid of this real-life vampire.
That right there is what the Republicans are putting their full weight and support behind, as that is their biggest hopeful for this political cycle. And no, that's not satire. That's reality. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name is Rukadowski here. We are Change.org. This, as our society just becomes more and more absurd, but will there be a shift in our political class? Well, we're definitely seeing the end of a major era today, which we're going to be talking about. Will there be some transparency, some investigation, some actual oversight and accountability when it comes to the very suspicious, nefarious activities of our government? Well, actually, maybe all of this, as the New York Times is giving a speaking position and promoting a major fraudster that, of course, is involved in some very seedy, nefarious activities. We're going to be talking about this, plus a lot more, all on this independent broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you could get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast is originally from OAN and continues for yet another minute and 18 seconds with the ramblings of Herschel Walker, the main Republican candidate in the runoff election in Georgia, which will determine the fate of the Senate. Yes, this is the man that the Republicans said that they want to fully support, that they're standing behind, that they're cheerleading for, to represent the people of Georgia in the Senate. All of this as one legacy politician just recently stepped down from power. We're going to be talking about that in just a little bit. But first, I wanted to get into some of the lunacy and insanity presented by, of course, the corporate media here in the United States that, of course, is showing clear signs of mental defects, just like even the New York Post that wrote an article hoping for more lockdowns in a lifestyle piece. This, as the Associated Press just recently spread fake news without even correcting themselves, that almost launched a global conflict between Russia and the West. This, as they are taking the words from anonymous government sources and Ukrainian government officials, as well as the president of Ukraine, that didn't even wait until the dust settled to announce that we immediately needed to retaliate against Russia and attack them in a large counteroffensive. And if the corporate media is not trying to get us into a new war or espousing their love for totalitarian lockdowns of society, they're also, of course, busy expressing their love for the current power establishment, as we have this latest North Korean-style propaganda piece by the Associated Press, which should be ashamed of themselves, that wrote an article as if it was out of Pravda with a title saying, quote, "The foreign trip became a victory lap that strengthened Joe Biden." Yes, because Joe Biden, that tripped again up the stairs, fumbled and couldn't even read his own notes, and was caught with a cheat sheet that was literally telling him when to sit, when to speak, when to take a photo. Definitely exudes so much strength and power. Yes, this is absolutely such a very successful trip, as the President of the United States even missed major key events because he needed to, quote, rest. And I don't know about you, this definitely doesn't signal anything strengthening when you see the fragility of someone who is clearly too old to serve office and should be respected enough to be allowed to peacefully rest and not be in one of the most stressful jobs on the face of this earth. And again, the people forcing him on stage, forcing him to read these scripts, follow the orders of when to speak, of when to sit, of when to take a photo, are absolutely cruel. This, as today, it looks like Nancy Pelosi understands this all too well, as she just announced that she's stepping down as leader of the Democrats in the House after 19 years being a congresswoman, who is deemed the luckiest congresswoman on the face of the earth, as of course, this is the same woman that made better stock trades than Warren Buffett, and even though she announced she's not going to be trying to be Speaker of the House, she still plans on being a congresswoman. She also made a jab against the former president of the United States, and this major announcement is going to have an effect on Congress, specifically because she would be the minority leader as the Republicans have taken control of the Congress, barely, but they did. This as they're expected to get subpoena powers and the ability to investigate their own political targets, just like the January 6th committee did previously before them, as the Republicans today are promising that they are going to be launching an investigation into Joe Biden and Hunter Biden with their international business connections, which according to them, they deem a national security risk. And there's a big claim to be made here, as of course there's a lot of absolutely incredulous, huge amount of evidence pointing to clear wrongdoing, nepotism, immoral, and illegal action that the son of the current president of the United States actively participated in, and in other instances even took photos of himself committing. This as, of course, the president of the United States denies a lot of things that are already public knowledge, especially when it comes to his relationship with his son, which he shared phone numbers with, bank accounts with, and has publicly lied about the relation that he had with his son when his son was getting lucrative contracts in key geopolitical strategic areas like Ukraine, while of course also partnering with Chinese-based corporations that clearly do highlight a lot of potential wrongdoing here, which might politically change the game here, or they're going to spur big tech social media to launch another censorship campaign, just like they did of the Hunter Biden laptop story, which they, of course, made sure that the American public wasn't aware of right before the last election. So, will anything we find out from this latest GOP investigation in the House be enough to actually sink Joe Biden and his political hopes for 2024, or will big tech social media intervene again and utterly destroy the prospects of, as of course we have to note here, major companies and platforms like the one we are on right now, and also of course Instagram, have recently been overly aggressive when it comes to any kind of memes, humor, or inconvenient facts that they don't want you knowing about, hearing about, or even being able to fully, freely discuss. There was a summit that's literally called the World Government Summit that's working with Klaus Schwab, the World Economic Forum, that is calling for, quote, NWO, which YouTube made sure to fact check the World Government Summit on, as saying that it's just a conspiracy theory that doesn't really exist, it's just crazy make-believe stuff on a video literally implementing, calling for and advocating for it at the same time. Yes, this is the insanity that we're dealing with here. Instagram, by the way, just went nuclear on my page, at LukeWeAreChange. People are given a warning sign before following me. They're given another warning if they try to mention me in their stories. And again, this is why I am so happy I have LukeUncensored.com. The fight for free speech is more important than ever, and one easy, cheap, and affordable way to get involved in it is just by simply signing up to LukeUncensored.com, as, of course, we even have our own quasi-bootleg social media running through LukeUncensored.com through a forum that you could participate in, meet like-minded individuals, have important conversations about solutions, networking, coming together and doing incredible things, all a part of our own platform, LukeUncensored.com, where I provide you a new video almost every single day based off very important actions that you could be taking. In yesterday's video, I specifically talked about the things that I'm doing in my life to prepare for the larger upheaval coming our way. And in today's video, there's other hot button, spicy topic videos that we cannot discuss here on this broadcast that we are going to be discussing only on LukeUncensored.com. We jam-packed this thing with 3 masterclasses, exclusive merchandise, exclusive access to future upcoming real-life events in the real world. If you haven't signed up yet, if you're not a part of LukeUncensored.com, what are you waiting for? Sign up right now, just by easily clicking the button. And truly, if you want to counter the efforts of these platforms that are trying to silence us, Again, there's no sure way of allowing us to continue these operations just by signing up. It's quick, it's easy, click here, you're done, and you're doing your part to help build and grow this larger information counteroffensive from despots that want to control your perception of reality and force down your throat that 2 + 2 = 5. It does not. It is 4. It's that simple, and if you want to help and support, you will, and that's the best way you could do it. This, as I think it's also important to note here, that our society is becoming more totalitarian by the day, as the G20 just officially rolled out and announced that there's going to be international health certificates, digital identification, passport systems of compliance when it comes to future international travel that they are going to try to implement on the world stage. Again, there wasn't a vote here. There wasn't a discussion here. It was literally Klaus Schwab and Bill Gates meeting with the leaders of the world, and they later announcing, hey, yeah, we're going to have digital identification systems when it comes to international travel. That's absolutely insane. It's a protocol that is undemocratic, totalitarian, and dangerous to any kind of personal liberty and freedom, and needs to be pushed back against as much as possible. There's already too many laws, too many ridiculous laws that have even seen UFC former champion Israel Adesanya be arrested for carrying inanimate objects like brass knuckles at an airport. Why was this man arrested? Is he a criminal? Was he going to hurt someone with the brass knuckles? No, absolutely not. He's a UFC fighter. He's one of the best fighters on the face of the earth. He's also extremely wealthy, and to arrest someone for brass knuckles because it's illegal to carry in New York, charging him with a Class A misdemeanor is absolutely absurd. And while the justice system and police officers punish and prosecute people to the fullest extent of the law for the most ridiculous reasons, the biggest criminals in our society are given lucrative speaking spots at the New York Times Gala, just like Sam Bankman-Fried, which is expected to speak with the president of Ukraine, Mark Zuckerberg, the Secretary of Treasury, Janet Yellen, and other luminaries and criminals, all a part of a live event where, of course, they get promoted. I didn't believe this was true, but I literally had to go on the New York Times website, and it is. This is a part of their Deal Book Summit, and their main headline speaker is this fraudster that they previously released a propaganda piece about, being extremely soft and light-handed when it came to addressing the larger fraud that he has committed against society. Of course, Van Jones is also going to be speaking here, the Prime Minister of Israel, Mike Pence. All of this as there's billions of dollars still missing from clients' accounts who were defrauded, who were robbed by Sam Bankman-Fried, that of course was giving out money to all the politicians in order to have protection money. This man, still free. The FBI is foreshadowing that they're going to be going after him. Why would they do that? Why would they give him a warning before they do? Lots of just bewildering news surrounding this entire saga. This, as today, SBF is blaming his ex-lover for the collapse of nearly $32 billion. Where did that money go to? That's a question that I think a lot of people should be asking themselves, as there's a lot of possibilities for very nefarious things to happen here. As even he just admitted that him being, quote, ethical, just like everyone was calling him in the corporate media, was just, quote, a front that was paid for by the top dollars, as of course he had relations with the Securities and Exchange Commission chair, with all the top-level Democrats, with all the latest celebritards, was hanging out and promoted by Bill Clinton, as today he's trying to blame everything on his ex-girlfriend, as she's writing about her polyamorous relationships and, quote, being in a Chinese harem, also taking a lot of drugs. If she even admits a lot of the things that they were doing were just scams. And while criminals and crazy people like this go free, remember, this is still just scratching the surface to the true corruption, the true criminal and horrible activities happening behind the scenes that we still don't even know about. If you think FTX was bad, wait until you find out about the U.S. Federal Reserve. That's my take. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on WeAreChange.org. One more video available for you right now on LukeUncensored.com. See you there.